like, hey, we network with this family, we network with this agency as well, so that we all come together. And when we have events, when we have all of these different things that you want a fantastic turnout for, you have the support system there. Some people, they'll be able to throw as many gifts as they possibly can, and some people are just there for the support factor of it all because maybe they've already done all their business, they've already done all of their organic for the month, and moving forward they're just like, hey, I got to show up for my friend, I got to show up for my family, I got to show up for this person that I want to show up for me. Yes, Sam fam.
I just wanted to say recently, like I joined this family called Powerhouse. And so I went around to introduce myself to all the people that have been there before me so they can know who I am and know that I'm there.
Yes, exactly, Sam fam. Sam fam is old and new at the same time. Old and new at the same time. It's complicated. It's complicated, but we love her. I love her with all my heart. But we love her. Okay. Just to give you guys some examples for the next slide, right? Example, going live and being entertaining with personality, talent, or something, or some level of charisma, right? Because some people be like, well, I'm not a singer, so I don't know how to keep people in alive, or I'm not a rapper, I'm not an artist, I'm not this, I'm not that. If you're a person who can hold a conversation, you're good. You know what I'm saying? Just you got to think about it in a way of like, why do you have friends off the app? Right? Why do you have friends off the app? If you have friends off the app and they like, yes, they like being in your space, they like, they like your company, you like their company, it's something that you're bringing to the table. You're just kind of doubting yourself a bit because you're in front of a screen versus being able to actually sit right next to a person in person. But it's not very different. A vibe is a vibe is a vibe, y'all. So at the end of the day, regardless on if we're doing it like this or if the person is sitting in a chair right next to you in your house, you still exude a level of charisma with that person that makes them want to come around, right? We don't have to, have all of these different talents. You could just be a good storyteller. You could be a person who, has just a way about you. Like maybe it's your style. When you go live, it's kind of like, yo, every time I see you go live, like, look at the fit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something about you that people are going to be gravitated to, and you have to capitalize on that. And then ask questions as well. You don't have to just sit there and just think of everything yourself. You can say, "Hey, what do you guys like want to see from me?" or what have you, because I want to be able to be entertaining for y'all. So, if you're going to show up for me, I want to make sure that you're enjoying yourself while you're here. That is not out of the ordinary kind of question to ask your support system, because yes, they come in and they're like, hey, well, yeah, I mean, we was good with what we had, but since you asked, like maybe we can give you a couple of different things that we can see you doing. Maybe it's a game type of night or whatever that you might want to do, and we could be a part of it. And then it's like, yes, this person's having a game night, this person's doing this person doing that. You're keeping us stimulated in some sort of a way, because the community in which we live in these days um need constant stimuli, constant stimuli. So if you can provide that, because you're simply asking questions and not trying to be a psychic here, you'll get to be entertaining on a level that your audience loves, or your support system loves. They're like, yeah, I enjoyed coming to see you before, but I really love it here now. Like, and plus we're reinventing ourselves all the time. Sometimes when you keep beating the same horse, or you want to be that one trick pony or whatever like that. I don't know why they chose horses for these terms, but it's okay. Um, at some point in time, people get a little bored and they're like, I'm always gonna come and show up for you. However, I'm gonna go surfing the Bigo streets a little bit, right? And you'll be like my last stop. You don't want to be anybody's last stop. If anything, you want to be the first and last. Okay, so that's how we want to think about this moving forward when it comes to what we're providing for our audience. And guess what? When you go into somebody's room, you're the person on the other side now. Like, okay, I'm in your room. We like you already, and we've built that relationship. Now what? Are we chilling on the stoop? Or are we doing something entertaining to where it's like, I could be over there because they done shared that live 1,000 times. And it's like, damn, I want to see what's going on over there. But if I'm entertained over here, I don't really care what's going on over there. I'll let them tell me about it later. right? So I hope you guys understand that. If you do understand, you can put a one, two, three, amen, hallelujah, praise Jesus in the comments so that we can move forward with this curriculum and I can be confident as your mentor, knowing that you're leaving with more value than you've come with. Okay? Thank you so much for the engagement. You guys are awesome, right? So, just to continue this slide, right? Starting a random 5 minute PK battle with a stranger or a friend, right? Because this is the ways to network. I know it's a little, you can get a little anxious, matching people or what have you, but this is one of the main, look, Bigo, they discovered a beautiful thing, right? And that's the next button. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just hit next. Just so easy. While the person over there trying to, they already got the neck rolling or whatever like that, ready to get you together, and you like next. Just that fast. Boy, oh boy, that could have went away. But yet that next button, I look, my finger be hovering over it because I know that it's an option. If the energy ain't matching what it needs to be matching for me, right? Because you're not gonna kill my vibe, right? If it's not matching, then it's like, okay, well, before you get into the body of your sentence, let me just next you, right? Because we could do that. So just be mindful of that, you guys. You have that option, so you don't have to, sweat about it. You could just be like, oh no, no, I don't like this energy. Bye, and then go on to the next person, and then start all over. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? What brings you to Bigo? So it's things like that that you want to, be able to capitalize on and give people energy, right? When you get on here, people are looking for that. If you go into somebody's live and they just like, yeah, we just chill or whatever like that. I'm in this rebate or I'm, just here getting my hours. And then you're looking for those people to start a conversation with you. It's like, oh no, you supposed to be the entertainment because I came in here to you. I could have went anywhere, but I came here. So I need to be entertained, right? Have energy. Sometimes just your energy alone helps a person want to be there, right? They're not like, and then ready to go somewhere else. Your energy has to be there. Like, I'm Latino, so I'm naturally loud. I'm always in your face about it or whatever the case is. But some people, they're not that extroverted, right? Sometimes they're more introverted. However, on here, you have to turn it on. Even if you're an introvert, you have to turn it on. Make sure, can I get, make sure you're cammed up, even though that wasn't the thing, but make sure you're cammed up. You're speaking loudly or whatever like that. If a person doesn't feel like they need to turn you down, you're not talking loud enough. Some people be mumbling, and I'm like, I know we speaking the same language, but I can't. I'm not catching it. I'm not catching it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be ear hustling in somebody's room because they're not actually speaking in a volume that keeps you awake. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be like out there, and I know it's not natural for everybody. However, you gotta fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta fake it till you make it, and then you get used to that routine. Because look, when you go off, like it's like when you go to work, you gotta be, a certain type of person, a certain type of energy, and then when you get off, it's kind of like, okay, I can decompress, right? So treat it like that. Now, I do understand that you're not going to be on every single day because think about it. How many days we have to get on the app, how many hours we have to put in for the month and stuff like that. You're not always going to be in that type of mood. However, for the vast majority of your lives, you have to take this into consideration because a boring live to you is a boring live to me. So if you bored, I'm bored. I promise. I promise if you bored in your live, I'm bored in your live too. So with that being said, you guys, you always got to make sure that you're giving a certain type of an energy. And I mean, you don't have to go so crazy like, oh my God, hey everybody, like because that's just mad extra. Not a lot of people will appreciate that because it's like, okay, you're actually too much for me, but give them a little extra notch up from what you naturally, do so that people could be like, oh, okay, I like your energy. Like you're very positive, and you're giving me something that maybe I didn't get in somebody else's room that I was just previously in. So these are things that you want to definitely do for the most part so that you are associated with what? So everybody who comes to class on a regular basis, what do you want to be associated with when you are here and when you are here on Bigo presenting yourself as a broadcaster?
A good
Somebody said,
time.
A
yes,
good time.
exactly.
We all
You
know that
want
answer.
to be associated with a good damn time.
Even
Why?
in the comments.
When you are associated with a good time, people want to come back. People want to come back. That's the impression that you gave them. So they're looking for that. It's almost like a drug. It's almost like a drug. They're chasing that because it's like, oh, the last time I went there, I was laughing, I was vibing good. It was a good, lighthearted, kind of environment, very non toxic, very respectful. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of these boxes that you're checking off is what helps a person understand, like, you know what? That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. That's why when I do my classes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, one at 5 Eastern Standard Time and one at 9 Eastern Standard Time, I always give a certain level of energy because it's one thing when you guys have to, deal with the reality that you have to come to class, let alone the class being boring. Why are we sitting in this boring class when we could be somewhere else? It's like, yeah, I need to learn some things, but this dude is not even, he's not really giving. Like, he's not funny. He's not really, giving that type of energy that I need. And we in class. So I'm like, yeah, I'm taking my notes, man. Like, but you gotta entertain people. You gotta throw a joke in there every so often or something, like obviously something appropriate, right? But like you gotta make sure that people still want to be there the whole time, right? Classes are normally an hour long, right? I'm not gonna sit here and keep you for a whole hour and just bore you out of your entire mind. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's sort of a disservice with the entity that I'm a part of. I want you guys to, matter of fact, you know what, just to be honest, like, because I'm gonna be completely transparent with y'all. I just want y'all to know that my class is the best class. That's it. That's all. That's my own little personal gain. I just want my class to be the best one, because you have a lot of people who get on here and they do a Bigo 101 class, and that's all fine and dandy, and I appreciate them for that. However, we are going to go to Dale Amor's class because his class is just simply the best one. So, with that being said, disclaimer, right? With that being said, welcome everybody who's coming in for the first time. My name is Dalia Moore, and I am about halfway through this curriculum. I'm so happy that you guys decided to boss up and put yourself in an environment where you can learn this app so that you can be confident in the things that you do when you're getting to your desired tiers, right? It's only right because you're your own boss. So why not, right? Moving forward, you guys, and I hope you guys understood all of that stuff because I do tend to talk kind of fast sometimes. But slow me down if you need to. And if you have your questions, like I said before, you can put it in the comments and I will definitely address those questions so that as we move forward in this curriculum, you guys have a better understanding of how you want to move on this app when it comes to the level of success in which you deserve to have. Okay? I love bilingual teachers. Yes, 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 of course, right? Moving forward. What does your goal for the day look like, and why does it make sense for the week and the month? Right? What does your goal actually look like? So before we get to, because this is a question, but this is like one of those type of questions where like you don't actually need to answer it at the moment because I'm going to answer it for you. But it's cool because we're here, right? But before I go into the next part of this curriculum, I need to ask a very, very simple question with a simple answer, and I just want to gauge where you guys are with it, right? So according to what you need to make for a tier, right? Because we have a 10K tier, we have the 20K tier, and so on and such with, right? With those being your tier for the month, right? What you actually need to achieve for the month. I need to ask a very important question. Is 800 diamonds a lot of beans? That requires a yes or no
No.
answer, right? So I see a lot of people saying no, no, no. For even for the newbies, no. Okay, okay, good, good. I'm happy that you guys said that because the question is loaded. It's a loaded question. And the reason why I say it's a loaded question is because if 800 beans is not a lot of beans, that means that you can, in fact, set a goal for yourself every single day to achieve 800 beans before you call it a night, right? And I'm going to give you a formula that's going to make sense for you guys so that it makes sense, right? So, goal formula, slide 7. receive 800 beans per day equals 5,600 beans per week, which then equals 24,000 beans per month, which pays you a quota of $200. Okay, I'm going to go over it again because it's a formula, and the footnote has been shared in the comments so that you can save that to your device. Okay, so you can look back at that and say, hey, this is what I need to go according to, or this is my guide to get at least to the second tier quota, you guys, because we're not being minimalist around here. We are going for what we can possibly go for at the highest tier, at the highest point within reason, right? Because anybody can go for the minimum tier quota, which is 10K, but then why be a minimalist? Right? You want to set yourself up, you want to give yourself enough confidence. You want to be enough confident in yourself to say, you know what? Let's set that goal for 800 beans a day, and I'm going to make the 24 K for tier, right? But I'm gonna go over this formula one more time, you guys. So goal formula: receive 800 beans per day equals 5,600 beans per week, which then equals 24,000 beans per month, paying you $200 for tier/quota, just having a daily goal. Just simply having a daily goal. And mind you, you guys, this is organically speaking. Organically
Absolutely.
speaking, there's no business that was attached to this in any sort of a way. It's literally your organic. Now, all of the things that we mentioned earlier in the curriculum is what you're going to utilize, is what you're going to utilize in order to reach this particular goal for the day. Because you're going live yourself and making sure that you're giving the energy that you're supposed to be giving, and making sure that people are associating you with a good time, on top of making sure that you collaborate with other broadcasters and family members of your family, so that as you move forward, you're adopting other people's audiences and actually achieving your own audience in the mix, because the more people that you're around, the more people you're drawing to yourself and others. Because on Bigo and every other social media platform has a curriculum with, well, not a curriculum, I'm sorry. I have a curriculum. Has a algorithm, sorry. Has an algorithm. Algorithms are real when it comes to social media platforms, because without that algorithm, you are not going to be able to gain audiences that you wouldn't normally come into account with on a normal basis. So these are things that you want to keep in mind. Once again, you guys, make sure all the information that you hear me speaking of, and the information that's being shared in the comments with the slides, you are writing these things down in your Bigo notebooks, and you're saving the footnotes to your device, because this knowledge is something that you can apply and find a level of success in it, because it's literally a guide. You're taking this and you're contouring it to be more um specific to the way that you broadcast, the way that you are more comfortable, right? Because the applied knowledge is the power that you hold in your hands. So all the classes that you attend, and mind you, just because you feel like you've attended a particular class before does not mean that you're not going to gain value or additional value in that same class with that same curriculum, right? So always make sure that you're popping your head into a class on Bigo, specifically my class, so that as you're gaining the knowledge, you are applying this in a way that's going to be profitable for you. Somebody promised you a check at some point in time upon recruiting you to this app, and you want that to come to fruition, right? So the way you do it is applying the knowledge that you are receiving from a reliable source of information, which is here in my class. outside of everybody else's class. We love that. However, my class, you're going to get a curriculum. There's going to be a certain level of structure that you get in my class, so that when you're moving forward, you're not confused about just random information being thrown at you. Okay? Moving forward. It's funny you said that. Moving forward, to achieve this goal faster, right? Because we just received a formula, you guys. And anytime you receive a formula, you should be taking those formulas and holding dear to them, right? Upon receiving this goal faster, right? You would have to get twice the amount in half the time. For example, 1600 beans per day in 15 days will then get you that same goal of 24,000 beans towards your quota in that time. So if you're able to achieve that in half the time, you now have another half of the month to either jump a tier or to then start doing different things dealing around your content, this, that, in order to then see a better return on either your investments or whatever a person is investing in you. Does that make sense, you guys? You can put a one, two, three, amen, hallelujah, praise Jesus in the comments, or you can say something here on the panel, right? Gigi Royal, you had something that you wanted to say? She said one, two, three. Yes. So I just want to make sure that everything that I'm saying is making sense to you guys, because that's the only way that you guys are going to get the most value out of what you're going to be able to achieve here on Bigo. Yes, Gigi Royal?
Sorry, I'm gonna just make it very, very quick. I'm the
Yes.
newest one, I think, in here. I've only today is my 1 month anniversary with Dale and Powerhouse, and I'm very proud of myself. First month I made the 30K, and I didn't think I was gonna make it. I am so close to 50K this month that every month I'm going to keep pushing myself. Thank you for the classes that you've thrown. Thank you for teaching me all the things to make myself improve on this app, because at the very beginning it was extremely hard for me to get a bean. But now I've hit 5 tiers almost up on my very first month. And Dali, with all my heart, I appreciate you for teaching me so much, and Chris and Toast and everybody on here. Like, you know, you guys are so awesome. Okay, that's it. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, yes, we love that. And we are celebrating you as well with that, because that is a testimony, you guys, when it comes to applying the knowledge in which you're learning on here. And, being around genuine people so that they can help guide you in the right direction. Because for Powerhouse is next man up mentality. And for Damois Royale Agency is we are for the people. Okay, so at the end of the day, when you're surrounding yourself with people who have this ideology of how to conduct themselves with a certain level of poise and integrity, you then learn things that you can start seeing the benefits from much faster. And it's not about getting all of these things in such a fast fashion. It's about the level of quality in you taking it serious while putting your best foot forward. Okay, so you guys take Gigi's testimony and run with that, because you can then be the next person having that same or very similar testimony according to the information that you've obtained here in Dale Amore's class. Because it's just we have to promote, you guys. We definitely have to promote. Um, oh, and also too, if you guys are interested in becoming a host, my agency's name is Damois Royale Agency. So if you want to have a similar experience